And for the news abroad, here is June Garin live from Paris, France. Good morning, June.
Thank you, Will. The United States' decision to reimpose nuclear-related sanctions on Iran has pushed up oil prices while raising concerns about potential supply squeeze. Iran is the third largest oil producer in the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, and the world's fifth largest oil producer. At one point on Tuesday, the West Texas Intermediate for June delivery surged 2.95% to $71 per barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange, and Brent crude briefly surpassed $77 a barrel on the London ICE Futures Exchange. Both reached new highs in almost 3 years. On Wednesday, China's newly launched crude oil futures also hit an all-time intraday high of 466.6 yuan per barrel. Experts say that the rapidly rising oil prices could adversely affect the world economy in the short run. Israel says Iran launched rocket attack on its army base in Syria. Maylin Soriano tells us why.
Israel said Iranian forces in Syria launched a rocket attack on Israeli army bases in the Golan Heights early today, prompting one of the heaviest Israeli barrages in Syria since the conflict there began in 2011. The attack on the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights is the first time Iranian forces have hit Israel from Syria, where they have deployed along with Iran-backed Shiite militias and Russian troops to support President Bashar al-Assad in the 7-year-old civil war. Syrian state media said dozens of Israeli missile strikes hit a radar station, Syrian air defense positions, and an ammunition dump, underscoring the risks of a wider escalation involving Iran and its regional allies. Israel said the Iranian salvo of 20 Grad and Fajr rockets were shut down by its Iron Dome air defense system or fell short of the Golan targets. It claims that the Quds Force, an external arm of Iran's Revolutionary Guards, carried out the launch. The country also said that it had forewarned Russia of its strikes on Thursday against multiple targets in Syria.
אתמול הייתי אופטימי לגמרי, והיום אני פחות. וכמו שאמרתי, אני מכיר את המציאות. אני לא גר בגבול ניו זילנד אוסטרליה. אנחנו נמצאים פה מול סוריה ומול לבנון, וזאת המציאות. ואנחנו נתגבר עליה בכוחות משותפים, בעיקר עם צה"ל.
Maylin Soriano, UNTV News and Rescue, Middle East.
U.S. President Donald Trump welcomed 3 former U.S. prisoners who landed at a military base near Washington on Thursday after being released by North Korea, thanking leader Kim Jong-un and sounding upbeat on a planned summit between the two. The prisoners freed after U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo traveled to the North Korean capital, landed at Joint Base Andrews outside Washington, where a giant U.S. flag was suspended between ladders of 2 fire trucks on the edge of the taxiway. Trump and his wife boarded the plane, which arrived at around 2:40 a.m. local time for several minutes before the men stepped out, shaking hands with the president and waving to waiting media and military personnel. After the release of the prisoners, a U.S. official said the summit between Trump and Kim will likely take place in Singapore. Former Malaysian leader Mahathir Mohamad will soon be back to the Prime Minister office. Myla Guevara tells us why.
An alliance of opposition parties spearheaded by Mahathir Mohamad won Malaysia's general election on Thursday, setting the veteran strongman on course for a return to the Prime Minister's office he occupied for 22 years. 92-year-old Mahathir's stunning defeat of the ruling coalition of former Prime Minister Najib Razak means he will become the oldest elected leader in the world. Najib's coalition had ruled the Southeast Asian country since independence from Britain 6 decades ago. Mahathir has also promised to seek a royal pardon for jailed opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim if they win the election. He vowed that once Anwar is free, he would step aside and let him become Prime Minister.
Among the first things we will do is to seek not only for his release, but also for his pardon, full pardon. Full pardon means he can immediately take part in politics.
His opponent, former Prime Minister Najib Razak, already conceded following the release of poll results.
Saya menerima, rakan-rakan saya pun menerima keputusan yang telah dibuat oleh rakyat, ataupun I accept the verdict of the people, dan Parti Barisan Nasional adalah committed kepada menghormati prinsip-prinsip demokrasi berparlimen.
But Najib appeared to have raised doubts that his mentor-turned-foe would succeed him as Prime Minister after his defeat. He explains the next Prime Minister would be decided by Malaysia's king as no single party won a simple majority. Myla Guevara, UNTV News and Rescue, Southeast Asia.
A local ambulance rescue reported that at least 21 people were killed when a dam in western Kenya's Nakuru County burst into walls, overrunning homes. The incident happened in a farmland near the town of Solai, 190 kilometers from the capital, Nairobi. The Kenyan Red Cross said 39 people have been taken to hospital, while the search and rescue operations of local authorities continue. And those are the latest news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, Will.
Thank you very much, June Garin, live from Paris, France.